What is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today I am bringing you guys some more GTA 5 cars. Now, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Jester, which is basically the GTA version of the new NSX concept. Now, this is part of the new business DLC pack, and as you can see, we have it fully built. We have a race conversion on this thing, and it looks pretty mean, if you ask me. This thing, I really like the way it looks. Just as far as all the bumpers and everything that you can stick on this thing, and the customization options, it really hits the mark of supercar and track car at the same time. I think. I mean, there were a couple of options, like for example, you could cover up the glass engine cover, but I decided not to go with that. I also decided not to go with the crazy huge wing and just kind of went with this more almost Superleggera style wing instead. And obviously we've turboed it, and it definitely knows how to spin the rears up. As you can absolutely see, this thing, it definitely likes to spin the rears up. But the biggest thing about this car that I really like is the fact that it grips. I mean, it grips very nicely. I really like the way this thing drives, and I feel like once this thing is actually out into online, keep in mind that this was recorded a day before it was released into the online. It was released into the single player a day early. So we're recording this a day early before it was released into the multiplayer itself. So I still don't have multiplayer impressions, but those will come very soon. So as far as initial impressions, though, as soon as I can get out of traffic, I'll show you guys some of the cornering capabilities that this thing has, because it is very grippy. And as we go into a wall, but the thing, though, about this car that kind of helps it differentiate itself from a lot of the other supercars in GTA is the fact that it has a really nice feel to it. It doesn't feel, wow, really pull out in front of me? It doesn't have a lot of, the bounciness, I guess you could say, that quite a few of the other GTA supercars tend to have, especially going over bumps and stuff. This thing is super smooth, super tight, super grippy, and it's a very nice driving car. And you could pretty much, oh geez, you could pretty much handle any kind of cornering situation you want to handle in this thing smoothly without spinning off and destroying the car completely. I think personally that once this thing starts going into online races, I think these are going to be crazy. That's just my personal opinion. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. I'm definitely going to try and build one in online and just see how that goes, and to see if it's actually as effective as I'm thinking it's going to be. But I don't know, there's something about this car that, I mean, aside from the looks, because the looks are great. The looks are really nice. I love the way it looks, especially in this matte blue. And the speed is great. It definitely has the speed. The speed is definitely there. But the cool thing about the handling is the fact that while it's grippy, you can still kind of make it do these little tiny oversteer slides if you want it to. I'll try and show you what I mean. These little oversteer slides, if you brake into the corner, if you brake it in, then let the brake off, just as you're getting on the gas again, you can have it go into these little tiny oversteer slides, which are actually really fun once you start playing around with them. I mean, it's not drifting by any means. Definitely not drifting, but, oh geez, oh, that was close. That was really freaking close. But as you can see, it is extremely maneuverable. You can get this thing out of a bad situation super easy, no matter what you're doing. And that's another one of the reasons why I'm excited to race this thing online, because it's so agile and so maneuverable that there isn't really any kind of dead spot. I mean, some people might call it twitchy. I personally think it's way more, I would say responsive. I wouldn't call it twitchy. I would just say it's a very responsive car. And even when you're doing small e-brake turns, it's extremely responsive. I mean, if you need to hit the e-brake just a little bit to kind of get the back end out just a little bit so you can get around a corner just a tiny bit quicker, you're good to go. It doesn't mess around. You're good to go. Just break it in a little bit. Oh, jeez. Wow, he turned into me. I mean, yeah, I was in that other lane, but he turned into me. I was trying to get back into my lane. He turned into me. I had no idea why. I don't know. The AI is odd sometimes. The AI likes to randomly hit things. That's a combination. That's what happens when you try to avoid an FJ Cruiser, but you're going a little wide and you can't end up going to the inside of the corner. Well, no, what the heck? No, the inside of the corner. He was on the outside. Let's see if we can get this thing onto some more twisty roads. And I definitely braked way later than I was thinking I was going to, but that's the thing. This car allows you to save it. It works with you. It's a really, really nice handling car. And you could definitely feel the grip. It's cool because it has a lot of the grip characteristics of some of the all-wheel drive cars in GTA, but it's a lot more agile and doesn't have the understeer issues that a lot of them, like for example the Adder, are completely plagued by. Because you can get this car into those tiny little oversteer slides, and they're very minute, but they matter. They really do matter. And again, like I said before, you're not going to be drifting this thing really unless you're ripping the e-brake all the time like that. But it is definitely going to be an effective car, I think, as far as online racing goes. And it's just a fun car to cruise around in. I think it's definitely going to be a popular car with people that like to have a lot of supercars in their garage or like to do any kind of cruising. I think it's definitely going to be a popular car, also for people that like to race, and maybe even a popular getaway car for eventually when heists come out, because it's not only fun to drive and effective, but it's also, I think it's also very usable. It's just a very usable car. Let's see if I can get it just a bit sideways. Kinda. That's not what it's made for, though. That's not what it's made for at all. Oh, jeez. Yeah, he came out of nowhere. I was not ready for that, dude. There we go. There we go. You kind of have to, if you want it to get into some bigger oversteer, then you have to have a little bit of a different technique. You've got to give it a lot more. Oh, jeez. See, that's the thing. It likes to whip because it's mid-engine. It likes to whip, and it's not the easiest car to do that in. Keep in mind that we are not running slidey cars at the moment because I wanted to test this car in the grippiest environment that I could, just because of the fact that it's a grip-focused car, and you're not going to be drifting it a lot. It's not. Oh God! Wow, seriously? You had to just kind of put yourself right there in my way. But I don't see this car being very popular with the drifting crowd, just because that's not what it's made for. That's not what it's made for whatsoever. But I definitely see this car going on to be a popular car in GTA 5, and I feel like it's going to be something that everybody's going to kind of. It's going to be one of those cars that's just going to end up in everybody's garages online eventually, just because it's a car that it's like the car that your friend is going to get, and then like one of your friends is going to get, and then you're going to drive it, and you're going to want it, and you're going to get it too, and then your friends are going to drive it, and they're going to get it too. I feel like that's kind of the way that this car is going to work its way, whoa, geez, into GTA Online. And like I said before, it just looks great as far as the looks department goes. I mean, this thing's got it down. I mean, it's obviously the GTA version of the NSX concept, and the NSX concept, if you guys have been following that car, is an absolutely epic looking car. And I really hope that they keep that, and they bring that to they keep all the style, and they bring that to production, just like I'm hoping they do with the Toyota FT1. But the actual NSX concept looks pretty production ready. I mean, wow, Steve, leave me alone. This is an older game save, which is why Steve is calling me over and over and over again. And it's kind of annoying at times. Oh, Aston. Oh, jeez. But yeah, the biggest thing. What was I actually going? I've completely blanked on what I was going to say. No idea. That rarely ever happens. It rarely ever happens. That was like the first time that has ever happened in a really long time. But I don't know. Adventures in the middle of a video. Huh. Oh, geez. Let's see if we can. Never mind. I overcorrected way too much to one side. That was not a very good idea. Although, let's see if we can hit maybe one more twisty road and see if we can get a good run in. And the sound of this car, I've completely forgotten to mention the sound, which, I mean, I'm sure you guys have obviously heard by this point, but it sounds amazing. It's an absolutely amazing sounding car. I love the way this thing sounds, especially when you put a turbo on it. I mean, the combination of this engine sound with that turbo strapped onto it is a really nice sound, and it's actually one of the better sounds in GTA. I mean, GTA isn't quite known for their car sounds. I mean, some of them are decent, but they're definitely not a game it's definitely not a game that's known or for the car sounds. I mean, the car sounds are just kind of there for a lot of the vehicles, but this one, it's definitely not just there. It's quite nice, actually. It's quite a nice sound to listen to. And like I said, especially once you put the turbo on it, it's definitely a very cool sound to listen to. It kind of resembles the Elegy RH8 or the GTA version of the GTR. If you just like to call it the GTR, I just personally like to call it the GTR, as I'm probably going to just call this the NSX instead of the Jester. I mean, yeah, it's the new NSX, and it's not, you know, there are going to be purists out there that are not going to like the new NSX, and they're going to be like, oh, it shouldn't be called an NSX, blah, 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 but I think the new NSX is definitely, at least from what I've seen, it definitely looks like a worthy successor to the old one. So as far as final conclusions on this car goes, as far as driving it after doing a full build, I really, really like it. It's a very nice car, very good looking car, very good handling car, very entertaining car to drive too. And yeah, I beat it up a little bit, but definitely a nice looking car, especially with these with the modifications that they offer. And I highly recommend getting your hands on one. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave me a like. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. And I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later.